Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and as a few of you know, I'm an author. Yes, this marvellous creation is available for the public to purchase at the moment. I always say to people that my path as an author started with this book, Erasmus the Elf, when I wrote it when I was, 13, 14. But that is not the truth, you see. There were other marvellous creations that came way before that are almost as old as YouTube itself. Yes, I'm talking about things that I wrote in 2005, which, if you know how old I am, means that I was 5 years old when I created them. And when I say I created them, it was actually a collaborative effort between myself and my mum, who is here slightly out of frame with me. So, would you like to talk about a bit of the procedure behind what these books actually were?
Well, you were big into drawing, and you were big into creating stories, and you had all these ideas. So what you would do is you would put together pictures to make up a story, and you draw them, and you had a story in your head, and then you would ask me to write down the words, because you could write, as you'll see from a couple of these examples.
Oh goody.
But it took you a very long time to write, and some of the words you wanted to use you didn't know how to spell. So I was your Google assistant.
Okay, so I was already experimenting with how to spell different words. Yeah, so basic progress is I would do the pictures and dictate what I wanted them roughly to say, and that's and you can see that I went from not knowing how to spell certain words of dialogue and bad pictures to basically incomprehensible dialogue and no pictures. So clearly people don't always move up in the world. But in this case, we're going to start off with a couple of stories that have been retrieved from the archives that are my family members' houses. And this one here, the title is Bigcarstand, but because there's no word spacing, I'm just going to call it Bigcarstand for today. So it sounds like a realm of some fantasy world or something. All hail the king of Bigcarstand! But yes, in any case, it's actually based on this other book, apparently called The Big Road Race. I'm not sure if due to Article 13 I'm not to show this anymore. If there's ever a video re-upload, you now know why. It's the Berenstain Bears book, The Big Road Race. And when I was reading this, I think I did a minute's read through of the entire thing, because it's not long at all, and I think I know what I was thinking at the time, because the story is all about these racers who end up, it's like tortoise and the hare, but at a bigger scale actually, because there's more of them. There's more hares than only one tortoise, and the tortoise is portrayed by Brother Bear. And there's no real reason this story needs to be a Berenstain Bears story. And that's where Bigcarstand comes in. The interpretation, which I believe does not contain any reference to the Berenstain Bears. I hope not, otherwise I would be sued for copyright infringement. This is a perfect start. I'll show this later when I edit the images in. But the first image is already upside down.
In fact, all of the images are upside down because you decided to staple on the title the wrong way up.
Ah, well, in that case, off we go. Yellow tried to go all the way around the town first. Right, I have to stop right here. Halt everything. Again, in the road race, all the dialogue is in rhyme. If anyone has seen Mythos, the show that I was just in, you know that I like to write rhyming dialogue. These days. Apparently, I was not so big into adapting rhyme for myself until much later on. Or actually, no, it was only about 4 years when I started writing songs, so not too later on, but still a while after this, it seems. And the reason that one of the characters is called Yellow is because that's how they're referred to in the road race. There was blue, yellow, green, and orange, and of course, Little Red. Who I don't know if is in this story, actually. Although the next page, I apparently thought I was going to draw Little Red, but for some reason decided to not do that and just keep him out of the story completely. This is a great start. You've already adapting a story without the main character. Hollywood wishes they could be this inaccurate. Yellow went into a pothole. Then orange tried. What, orange tried to go into the pothole?
No, I think they're each trying to go around the town.
Yeah, oh, okay, they tried to go around the town.
Yes.
Right, of course. It's always going right to left, actually. I think I was trying to be unique, and I didn't realise that that's what they do in Eastern countries anyway. But orange crashed through the fence and into a pond. Then green tried. So apparently instead of all racing around the town at once, they're going around individually. I don't think I knew about races against the clock then, so that's just me doing creative license or something? Okay. But the green car was a bad guy. Ah, I see. That's why there are no drivers in the pictures. Because instead of... Because again, in the road race, they refer to the characters that's as red, green, orange, blue... Well, little red, green, orange, blue, and yellow. But they all have drivers who are obviously bears, because it's the world of the Berenstain Bears. And in this situation...
They're autonomous vehicles?
Yes, they're all autonomous vehicles with no drivers. I don't know if it's because I couldn't draw bears or whatever. Now, one could say this was inspiration for the movie Cars, but if you see from the date, which I'm going to show in the screen, I don't know why I'm showing that off camera, it says that this was done in May of 2005, whereas Cars came out in 2006. So apparently, even though this book is so horribly put together by me, it was still ahead of its time in terms of how Pixar developed. I don't know what that says, but it says something. The green car was a bad guy. He made nails, and they came through his wheels. Now again, going back to the road race, the green driver pulled out a box of tacks from the glove compartment and threw it at Blue. And that's why Blue was out of the race. So, yes, and actually, going back to Cars, you know what happens in Cars, right, at the very end?
Remind me.
The final race is Lightning McQueen, Chick, and the King.
Yes.
Yeah, red, green, and blue.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
and
not that weird.
And it turns out, actually, yeah, and it was Green who ended up getting rid of the blue car in that race. Well, I mean, obviously, you know, it gets rescued anyway because, you know, Lightning McQueen comes back and makes him finish his last race. That's a thing that happens. But still, if that hadn't happened, this would be the exact same storyline. I could have sued Pixar. Well, who knew? A second. Wait, am I... No, I'm not missing anything. The reason... I'm checking this because the next page says, Green did it. The red car got fire in his wheels. Blue sprayed water on the fire. Right, so apparently Red Car is in this story after all, even though this is the first time in the entire book that he's featured. Alright, and I have in fact drawn him smaller than the other cars, so apparently Little Red was used in this scenario.
Well, or it's an issue of perspective, and it's just further away.
Oh yeah, oh actually that would make sense, yes, because around this time you were explaining to me why certain things were smaller in drawing versus things that were larger and about the scaling of them, and it was because they were far away. I was probably just experimenting with that, actually. I think that would be it. As for Blue spraying water on the fire, I have no idea. That was completely me. There's nothing in the road race that says anything about that. Ah, and that's the end. Okay.
That says the end.
Yes, I know, but I mean, this is I'm looking at the last page. Yeah. Words by Sean. Yes. Illustrated by Sean. Written by Mummy. That's your writing credit, apparently.
Yeah, apparently that's what you told me to write, Sean.
Yeah.
I was
Well, yeah.
working under instructions
Yeah,
as usual.
exactly, yeah. Words by me, but written by someone else. That's, yeah. Okay. And yes, of course, then it goes on to the end. So that was Bigcarstand. How does it hold up? About as well as a straw pillar would hold up the Parthenon. So that's a thing. If I had to give myself a score there, I don't know, I'd give myself slight points for originality, but probably around like 2 or 3 or something, I don't know. Not very good, I must say. Not, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's quite cool that I was ahead of Pixar's time. I don't know what that says, but yeah, here's another one, which is I was supposed to say the crayon box race. Clearly, I was into races for a lot. Maybe that's why I love cars so much. But of course, the title again is presented differently because I actually physically wrote the title, and it now says the CRA Yonbox race. So once again, that's how I shall refer to it for the remaining of this video. Oh, wait a minute! What's this I see? Another story where the cars are represented by the colours. Ah, but you see, this one is from July and not May, so I've evolved into drawing human characters. Well, I say human characters, I mean, I don't know, what would you call these?
Well, they're crayons.
I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, because they're all in... Oh, that's why they're crayon boxes.
And
It's
that's
just
why,
one...
and that's why they have points at the top of their heads, because they're crayons.
Okay, I remember my humans having these incredibly forked arms like this, and they...
Yes, but the crayon box, so the crayons have got out of the crayon box and they've jumped in their cars and they're having a race.
Okay. It reminds me a bit of
your 5-year-old head on and get more creative.
This reminds me a bit of like Red Bull soapbox racing. It's like instead of soapbox, it's crayon box. But there you go. Apparently, I was retconning my own story, so even 2 months after Bigcarstand was completed, I was unhappy with it. So that shows you. Clearly, 14 years down the line has not changed that much. I am the tallest, said Blue. I am the smallest, said Yellow. The cars went around the race. Green took the lead. Orange and Yellow were at the back, but Orange was in the middle. And where is Blue? We'll never know. Yellow went in a pothole and he shot out of his car. So I'm being very consistent with the source material here. This is why we couldn't find anything that was like the crayon box that talked or whatever.
Yes, but Red's just appeared in this picture as well.
Ah, yes!
We're no longer talking about Blue. Blue's not in the pictures. Red hasn't been mentioned and it's in the picture.
Right, yes. Again, much like Bigcarstand, I wasn't learning that much. Oh no, Blue's back. Blue's back. Next page, Blue's back. Okay. Then Orange crashed into a pond. Green thought he was going to win. I'm pretty sure my favourite colour at the time was green, so I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that I didn't want Green to win, actually. Green wanted to win, so he blocked Blue. He blocked Blue by dropping more nails, actually. And let me just see the comparison of the drawing to Bigcarstand. Let's see. Oh, yep, about the same. Yep, my nails look like tadpoles, of course. As you mean, Green is clearly very happy with himself in that picture.
Yep, that's a very smiley crayon.
That is the face of no remorse. Then Blue's tyres went flat once Green blocked him. Green stopped at the fast food store. And that's another thing from the road race that I missed out in Bigcarstand. He talked to Brown. He talked to Brown. So he did. That's probably, brown crayon at the time, because there was no the character in the fast food store was never actually named in the road race. So I just made up that it was a different crayon colour. He talked to Brown, and Brown got everything Green wanted. While Green was waiting, Red went in front. There was Purple. I have no context for why Purple is in here, apart from the fact that it was my other favourite colour at the time. Of course. So, and as you see, Purple is Purple is bungee jumping, actually.
Purple is bungee jumping.
Yes, that's a Wallace and Gromit thing. I mix and match mainstream media. That hasn't changed either, actually. Well done, Red, said Purple. And that was Purple's only contribution to the entire story. Once again, words by Sean, written down by Mummy, and illustrated by Sean!
Is that what it says, or does it say Illa?
Oh yeah, no, it says illustrated by Sean!
All in capitals, nice and loud.
Actually, no, just all in big letters.
Oh, okay.
I mean, look, the I is lowercase, but the L's are capitals. Then it goes down to T, which is lowercase. Then R, I think, was meant to be capital, but is lowercase. I don't know. I see people write like this in YouTube comments, and I never knew why people did it. But apparently so did I. And there you go. That was the CRA Yonbox race. So how does that one hold up? Well, if Bigcarstand got a 2, I give that one a 2.5 because it is a slight improvement with a little bit of hindsight, but mere 2 months of hindsight, but still a bit. And it was, an attempt at retconning something that I was clearly not quite pleased with at the time. I guess it went this interesting story that this timeline this went through. It went from Berenstain Bears to sentient vehicles to then anthropomorphic crayons, and then it went to Pixar. So that's clearly what happened. If anyone asks you, yes, that's how that story went. All this time I was thinking that Erasmus the Elf was I wasn't entirely happy with the project. Maybe I thought it was a little bit too rushed. Maybe I thought I could have dedicated more time than the 5 years hiatus that I gave it. But looking back at both of these examples, I no longer think that. Go buy Erasmus the Elf. It's infinitely better than that. So, any final concluding words?
I thought it was really good to see them again. It just always shows, Sean, that you've had an interest in books, you've had an interest in stories and taking inspiration from around you and pulling all that together up and coming up with your own mashup thing.
Yeah.
So, it's good to see you continue with that.
Yeah, at least now I'm a bit more subtle with my adaptations and my and trying to get I'm more original. I will definitely say that. I pick multiple things about multiple sources this time, or just do my own thing. So yeah, actually I would agree with that. I like seeing that my origins go back further than I thought they did. I mean, I do remember things like Dumbo and the Storm. And if we find that, then I'll do a follow-up to this video. But be prepared for that one.
Oh, I know Dumbo and the Storm is safe.
Yeah,
I'm sure we can find that.
I'm sure it is. It wasn't lost to time. But yeah, that's gonna be it for now. I don't know. Tell me what you thought in the comments or something, and please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. And on that note, until next time, farewell.